Hello, my name is Fong Tran and I'm from Group 3. My teammate include Crystal and Joel, and we're gonna be presenting about infrastructure of Malaysia. I'm gonna be talking about transportation system and the main vehicle in Malaysia. Transportation system. There are four standard method of travel. That is through road, rail, water, and air. Each mode represent efficiency, convenient, and affordable. The system cover up to 63,455 kilometer, and it connecting to Thai border and Singapore. Due to high margin and demand, Malaysia invested more in transportation than the past. They used to have the highest logistics performance index in 2016, but they falls up to other Southeast Asia country around them right now. Next up, the main vehicle. The main vehicle are by train, buses, cars, and airplane. In 2015, there are 14.8 million registered motorcycle, and due to rapid developing in Malaysia, they switched themselves from motorcycle based to a car based country right now. Fast increase of Western car in Malaysia.
Let's get things started with electrical systems. So Malaysia actually is really well electrified, even slightly more electrified than the United States. However, the standard voltage, standard frequency, and plug type are all different from the United States. Malaysia uses 240 volts rather than 120 volts like the United States does. They use 50 Hertz instead of 60 Hertz like the United States does. And they use Type G plugs instead of Type A and B plugs like the United States does. For example, there's a Type G plug, a picture of it, onto communication systems. Malaysia uses all the major types of communication. However, in the past, they have struggled with telecommunication monopolies, and there have been a few scandals because of it. They also have some censorship trouble, and you can get into some legal trouble for some of these things. Malaysia claims that you have a free voice and you can really say whatever you want. However, there have been some incidents in the past. We recommend that you don't visit any sites and you don't say anything criticizing Islam. Don't visit any torrenting sites, any online dating sites, pornographic sites, or gambling sites. Especially because if this information were to get out there that you're accessing these sites, it would cause a lot of people to not want to do business with you. And then on to water systems. So Malaysia is located on the coast. They have water on several sides, but all of their water, almost all of it, is supplied through rivers. So when Malaysia was building up their water infrastructure, they built it up really fast with a lot of government money. However, it wasn't always done properly. So sewage is not always fully treated because things were built really fast instead of always completely correct. But the cheap water has the water has become cheaper because of this infrastructure and how widely it reaches. And this has resulted with a higher increased water use per person. The average person in Malaysia uses 226 liters of water. However, in Singapore and Thailand, they only use 155 liters, and in Thailand they only use 90 liters per day on average.
Their school year usually runs from January to November, so students just go to school for 3 months. Primary education starts at 6 years old until they're 12 years old, and secondary education starts at 13 years old until they're 17. If they'll like to pursue that education after that, they'll have to have the required grades to do so. Every citizen has access to education, except for non-citizens who must pay fees to send their students to school. And the photo represents the uniform that is required for some students in some schools. Public health care is available and free to all citizens and permanent residents, and is funded by their taxes. Private health care is for the wealthier residents and is required for non-residents for emergencies. There's a lot of health hazards in big cities, so they strongly encourage annual vaccinations. There's been an increasing number of people with obesity, which leads to a lot of major health issues. So Malaysia has made health promotion a huge priority and strongly encouraged an active lifestyle. In remote areas, healthcare has a limited availability. So the doctors from the remote areas discuss health problems with doctors in cities to solve that problem. The emergency services are more fast and reliable in urban areas compared to the ones in remote areas. Their postal service is very reliable and effective, but it's not always needed since the cities are so close together. It doesn't take long for a person to go to one city to the next. They have postal offices available in big cities, but not in remote areas, so they advise to set up a postal office box to collect their mail.
So in conclusion, Malaysia made major investment in transportation past years. Rail transport is minor but important. Road transport is the most important in Malaysia, and Malaysia is leaning toward adopting cars than motorbike.
Some key takeaways that you want to have when you come away from this presentation is that Malaysia has a different standard voltage frequency and plug type than the United States, and you need a different you need an adapter for voltage and frequency as well as your plug type in order to use any electronics from the United States. Malaysia does use all major communication types, and we recommend to only access professional sites on the internet. And while you're there, just to be safe, if you're drinking any water, try and filter all of it or only buy bottled water.
Overall, education is available to all citizens, but non-citizens must pay fees to send their students to school. Healthcare is reliable and available to all citizens. There's been an increasing number of people with obesity, which caused health promotion to be a priority. And the post office is very reliable when needed. So that's the end. Thank you for watching.